The Happy Spring Festival patch just landed in the in-game forums in Rise of Kingdoms, and we're going to walk through this because it massively changes Ark of Osiris. It massively changes the way that migration and Imperium works. Oh yeah, let's get started. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, a sponsored content creator for Rise of Kingdoms, and today we're talking all about the Happy Spring Festival patch, which is on its way very soon. If you like Rise of Kingdoms guides that help you get value and smash your enemies, hey, consider smashing that subscribe button for daily Rise of Kingdoms videos. I could not believe some of the things that we saw in these patch notes, and let's just jump right into it. The patch is landing on 1/25, so that is very soon, and within the next 3 weeks, we will see the Happy Spring Festival events. Those are listed up at the top over here. They're going to be firecrackers, okay, lanterns, and there's a Happy Year of the Ox event, 7 days of questing. That's something we've seen before. There's going to be Lanterns of Togetherness. We've seen a lantern event in the past. I'll have a card up in the top if I can find my old video for that, so you can go see what that looks like and how that worked. The Spring Festival gifts, where you can collect paper lanterns, okay to use in that event. Arms training, so Arms Master Lohar will be back. And strange incidents. The villages are on fire. Sounds like you're going to be running scouts around the map to do quests, which generally has some decent rewards. Overall, I am excited to see a new holiday event show up, and I am also a little surprised that I don't know if we're going to see Valentine's events. Will there not be Valentine's events? I guess we'll find out. Let's jump into, however, the huge change here, which is Ark of Osiris optimizations. This is huge change number one, and I like these changes, by the way. In order to ensure governors can have battles of their dreams, to make room for more tactics and skill, and I actually agree that this is what the changes will do, we are going to be making the following adjustments. In order to allow more alliances to participate without making significant changes to the current rules, alliances that are not in the top 20 of their kingdom by power can now participate in Ark of Osiris, grouped separately with other alliances with similar power level. Cool. Increase the number of teleports earned after the first occupation of an obelisk from 5 to 8. Now, I mentioned this when covering Ark of Osiris League, that I thought that because every team is picking certain skills, they should just incorporate what those skills do into what a player or a team already has in their arsenal. That way, players can pick other skills that allow the game to be more complex. So instead of everybody picking the skill that gives you teleports, now you don't need to. You start first occupation of an obelisk with 8 teleports instead of 5. That's a big deal. They have now removed Divine Aid, which is the one that gave you additional teleports. So what that means is everybody will get more teleports at the start, and then the rest of your teleports you're just going to have to get from regen from the obelisks, which makes holding the obelisks even more important. They've adjusted the rules for occupying buildings. First occupations now take 3 minutes, and further occupations will take 2 minutes. So you start to gain points even faster after you capture buildings. What does this mean? Ark of Osiris, the balance is shifting from being more of a arc-oriented game to perhaps stronger emphasis on a building-oriented game. We've adjusted the rules for gaining energy points. This is also a big deal. Energy points are now gained faster. So that means you will be able to fire off more of the skills in Ark of Osiris, which is pretty cool. And alliances will no longer get a boost to their energy points after suffering heavy troop losses, but instead, the side currently losing gets the boost. I love that. Comeback mechanic, baby. Comeback mechanic. So if your team is losing in Ark of Osiris, guess what? A little bit of a comeback mechanic. I really like that a lot. Optimize the Ark of Osiris map display. Hopefully that influences lag. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Significantly increased the rate at which severely wounded units are healed. That's cool. Less healing speed-ups needed if that's the thing that you were doing. And reduce the alliance score earned from caravan visits, but individual score will not be affected. Ho-ho! Provisioners getting kicked right in the teeth. Wow. So less emphasis on provisioning and more emphasis on the other aspects of Ark of Osiris. Specifically capturing buildings is the aspect of Ark of Osiris that gets most emphasized in this update. Provisioning, diminished. I still think you need to do it. We'll see how much alliance score is reduced, but it's diminished. And also because the effectiveness of taking buildings is worth more than it was before every time you take a building. Because now buildings are offering you points more quickly, we might see more aggression onto buildings because it's hard to hold the building for a really long period of time. But if you start getting points in 2 minutes instead of 3, that actually is a big deal, right? Like it takes a minute for the set rally to launch and then probably a minute to get to the structure. I mean, you start getting points unless they swarm it. Oh, by the way, as I was editing this, I saw that there's one other thing I didn't mention, which is that you can now teleport while your troops are out of your city in Ark of Osiris, which is amazing. That's amazing. I mean, as cool as it is to just sit there in the starting zone and wait until you can teleport, like, it's way cooler that you can do something. Yeah, this is definitely a cool change. So let's go to the next area of optimizations here, and that is the Lost Kingdom. Let's start with the top. All seasons, during the eve of the Crusade event, the gathering speed bonus awarded to 4th place has been increased from 5% to 15%. That sounds nice. I mean, 5% gathering speed was kind of, like, come on. I feel like the kingdoms that do the worst could use, a little bit of an extra boost, so that's nice. When a kingdom enters the eve of the Crusade for Season 1, the Resource Reserves bundle will be replaced with Bumper Harvest. Super relevant for big spenders. For everybody else, okay, the big spenders are going to have more resources. During Stage 1 of the Past Glory event, there will be a cooldown for donating gens. So big spenders get a benefit on one end of this and lose a benefit on the other. What a big spender would do is donate a ton of gems to get a ton of action points to ensure that they could win the individual honor game in Lost Kingdom. But now it doesn't look like that's going to be the case when the ruined Crusader fort is being rebuilt. For Season 2, the Lost Kingdom preparation event will be split into a preparation stage and a matchmaking stage. Governors will be unable to immigrate to kingdoms in the matchmaking stage. Okay? So you can't migrate in Season 2 to kingdoms that are matchmaking. That makes sense. You're already matchmaking. You shouldn't be able to change the composition of your kingdom. Season of Conquest only. Optimize the logic for refreshing Bastion quest to ensure that refreshing will not give the same quest. Amen. Hallelujah. Praise be. We really needed that. Optimize the Bastion window display to include the Bastion level. Okay, that sounds like a nice quality of life. Lowered the power of Kahar the Hidden. Amen. That's amazing. Please make it easier for free-to-play players to advance. Making it so that they can take out the Kahars is very helpful. That is great. Reduce the upgrade time required for certain levels of the Crystal Mine, Crystal Research Center, as well as Crystal Research Center technologies. Awesome. Cool. I don't see a way here to get crystals, however, for folks from battling barbarians. So that leaves me scratching my head a little bit, but at least you will need less speed ups. Right now, the block for a free-to-play player is the speed ups. What the block will be in the future is perhaps the crystals, but let's see. Let's read on here. What else do they have? When an alliance joins or leaves a coalition, any ongoing rallies launched by an alliance member will now be automatically canceled. Okay, cool. Other optimizations. Added a commander choice function to the daily special offer page. Oh, this is a spender's paradise. So governors can now choose the commander for sculptures included in the daily special offer. And commander options will expand as the kingdom grows older. That is really exciting. That might include only Wheel of Fortune commanders if what we saw in the patch notes to Chinese servers remains true for us. However, if it's all commanders, like if you can get Mightiest Governor commanders too, oh man, I mean, I will be buying every single daily special offer chest every single day. Oh, yeah. They are making commander sculptures much, much more available, and that is because the difference maker at the very end game will be, yeah, but do you have the commanders? But after you have the commanders, do you have the equipment, right? So equipment is becoming more and more the chase in Rise of Kingdoms. Adjusted the time at which certain commanders become usable. Commanders which could previously only be used after a kingdom's history passed 310 days can now be used after the kingdom has passed 300 days. There must be something that happens at 300 days that I don't know about, because changing this 10 days, okay. I don't know what meaningful difference that makes. That is the opposite direction, by the way, which I would be changing that. I would make it so new players, or have a little more protection time from the old commanders. But 300 days is, I suppose, a long time. But in my perfect world, a kingdom wouldn't have to go up against players that are using commanders that they have never seen or had a chance to get, But let's look at the next thing here. Optimize the battle log to be more aesthetically pleasing and easier to read. Great. Fix an issue where passport pages could be used to migrate to nascent kingdoms. Whoopsies. That should have been impossible. Okay. Optimize alliance building construction window to more clearly show individual credits. Okay. I could get behind that. These are all minor optimizations, but there's some big stuff in here. Just wait for it. There's a new Ceroli Boss. In the Ceroli Crisis event, General Kira will be replaced by a new general, Wafura. Okay, Wafura. Governors can challenge Wafura during the next Ceroli Crisis event. Afterwards, Ceroli Crisis will include both Kira and Wafura. Okay, cool. New Ceroli Boss. So we'll definitely make a guide for that the second it's available. Added a secondary password function on the settings page that makes extra security. Great. Optimized troop march operations. You can now control troop movement and give marching orders from any level of view. That's awesome. I'll be eager to see how exactly that works. They're changing the supply wagon page, I think, to be better. So you get more supplies. There was that limited food, wood, stone, gold bundle. Now that it looks like it might be becoming the default bundle and the other bundle goes away. That sounds nice. Optimize the, I don't buy any of those. It's too early for me, but okay. Optimize the operation experience of decorative buildings. Demolish has been changed to recycle, and they go back to the city editor. Okay, cool. Adjusted immigration. This is like maybe the biggest thing. It's like at the very end, but this almost should have been like number one up at the top as not even a random thing, but like one of the biggest changes in here. Are you ready for this? This is the biggest change. Adjusted the immigration function. Kingdoms can now only accept one migrant per minute. Boom. Mind blown. Boom. Why does that matter? What Imperium kingdoms are doing today is they will have everybody fill their hospitals. They will have everybody drop power. The kingdom leaves Imperium, and then they migrate in 100, 200 players in a 1 minute period. Yeah, I'm talking 1 minute or less. They bring in literally in the exact same instant, hundreds, literally, this happens, hundreds of players to a kingdom, massively increasing their power, gaining 1 to 2 alliances worth of players in a single go. That's what Imperium kingdoms are doing today. That's the cycle. And that is now impossible. Because what happens now? What happens now after this patch is you bring 1 migrant per minute. You bring in your 1 migrant, you pop back into Imperium, you can't migrate anybody. Or maybe you get 2 migrants before you pop back into Imperium. This change is massive. It is massive. You may still be able to get a couple people into your kingdom, but the day of large group migrations to Imperium kingdoms has just died, my friends. Play the tiniest violin for the Imperium kingdoms because you will never be able to migrate people in like you used to. Wow. That is so massive I can't even. And I don't think that's bad, by the way. I actually think that it's sort of dysfunctional the way that Imperium kingdoms are able to abuse hospital filling, to lose power, to then gain astonishing amounts of players. It doesn't make sense. And the developers know that they can't have a small number of kingdoms that are insane powerful because then they can't get fair KvK matchups because there's just so few people to even try to match them up against. So I think that overall, this is a really good change, but dramatically changes everything for the way top-tier, high-power kingdoms will function. This is massive. And also group migrations, now profoundly changed. Added a private chat function. Okay, fine. Fix some power error displays for commander skills. Actual skill effects have not been affected. Wait, fix some power display errors affecting certain commander skills. Actual skill effects, well, I guess we'll see what they were after the patch, you know? Optimize the target selection of Cyrus the Great's Cyrus Cylinder. His area of effectability will now target the same way as other area of effect skills. Oh, I know what this is. Yeah, okay. Skill damage has not been changed. Cool. Yeah, the way area of effect damage should work is you should only be able to hit things like other players that are aggressing against you or other players in the alliance that are aggressing against you. Okay. Okay, I see what's happening there. And they added Polish localization. Cool. So all in all, this patch is huge, right? Like, you thought the events were cool? Well, just wait till you see the Ark of Osiris optimizations, right? You thought the Ark of Osiris optimizations were cool? Whoo, boy. Just wait till you get to the KvK changes. And then, man, those immigration changes, Imperium will never be the same. And I think it's the right thing to do. They've got to balance out the power level of all of these kingdoms because, okay, while it is cool to have a huge kingdom that's super active, I like that. I enjoy that. I'm in an Imperium kingdom. We're currently ranked 12th, okay? I enjoy that. The thing is that they need all of the kingdoms to stay alive. So on average, the bigger communities are going to get smaller because you can't keep bringing in more people. And as people power up more and more, I think that people are going to spread out more and more across more of the kingdoms. We actually talked about this in a live stream today where we were saying that I wonder what is going to happen to the sort of kingdom economy, where one of the most valuable economies in the game is a kingdom, like as a unit of the economy, right? And what is a kingdom worth? Because that represents sculptures and events and all these things that you can win. And if a kingdom is dead, then they're really accessible. But you're in a dead kingdom, which means good luck in KvK, unless you're up against a fair matchup. But these days, they put D kingdoms with the A kingdoms, and that gets really interesting. So what I'll say about all that is that groups now will be much more incentivized to go to small kingdoms to ensure they can get all their members in. And by getting all their members in, they can build a new community in a new place. It'll be a smaller community. I think that in general, smaller communities have a higher risk of dying off entirely. So there's some serious risk there. But when you think about the fact that an alliance is 150 players, like that is still a pretty large group of people, right? That is a pretty large group of people. What do you think about these changes, however? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, you like getting, access to stuff as soon as it lands, do me a huge favor, throw a like on this video to show that you enjoy this. 100% free to you. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a thing. And until next time, my friends, you have fun smashing the kingdom.